Good morning, nursing family. I'm just going to be doing a quick little tutorial just to kind of show you guys how Trello works and how to go about Trello boards. I'm going to be sharing my screen. That way you guys can see what we are dealing with. You will see the name up here. You will see that it's a personal board. It is made public right now for anybody who has this link. So you have to make sure that you're not messing with this board. Instead, you're going to go and create your own board, because if you do anything with this board, it's going to affect it, and other people's going to see all the things that you've messed this board up. So please just create your own board. Okay, so how you do that is you can follow the instruction in this little pink box here, or you could go over here, show menu, and then you could go under copy board, and then you'll just create this board into whatever you want. So let's say I want it under NSG, I want it for myself, I don't want it to share with anybody else, and then I would just, press create, and then it'll just create a board for you. If you want this template, but not what I have, I can definitely show you guys where I got it from. You go under home, you go under template, and there is a lot of different type of template. You don't have to just do what I did. You can, do whichever template you want, geared towards business, school, personal, whether that is creating new habits, budgeting, working out, and stuff like that. Like, it has a lot of templates for you to use. Trello board is very, very universal. It just depends on what you want and what floats your boat, pretty much. Link to view it. You can also always send invites to anyone, and then you'll see a calendar here. You'll see Butler. I've never really used Butler, but I did see that the calendar would be kind of useful, especially if you want to keep everything in one place. This would be a really good place to put that. Show menu is just going to pretty much show you all the settings and what you can do and go about your board. You can copy this board or make a template. Yeah, so let's begin. This is the name of the board, the template. You can always change it to however you want it. It shows from left to right, as you guys can see here. It goes from left to right, okay, horizontally. Anything that goes from left to right are all your list, okay? So for example, info to do this week, to do next week, these are considered your list. What's below it, which is lined up vertically, is going to be your cards. As you can see here, you can add a new card on here, and you can just press enter. You can press the cards, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it, which is amazing. I actually created this photo, really simple, other apps that I use, and I just uploaded on here. You can change the cover to however or whatever you want, simple plain colors, or even with pictures, it doesn't matter. It's whatever fits your need. You could put a description here in regards to, what this list of things are going to be consist of. You can do checkoff lists, create a little checkoff list, as you can see here down at the bottom here where it says assignments. This is just an example. You can check it, check it, or don't check it. It's totally up to you guys how you guys want to use the checklist portion of it. The nice thing is that it tells you how many percentage you are complete with that. And let's say I'm 33% and I haven't done ATI, virtual sims, or clinical case study yet. And I'm going to exit that, and it's going to tell me that I have 1 out of 3 items that has been checked off. So, we would just go back in there and see if we completed anything, check it off. If we want to delete this checklist completely, we could always delete it, and then we could always add another checklist. Okay, you just go ahead here, add it on there. And you can also copy items from different areas of the board, all across the board, and put it into this list as well, which is super cool. Activity, this is where you just kind of put in just pretty much any comments. If you have any comments you want to share or elaborate with other people, like let's say, so 3 assignments to complete, and then as listed above by let's say 23:59. Let's say today's 8:26, right? And then we'll just do save, and then it'll leave a comment on here. If I specifically want somebody to, to draw attention to that, I would say, hey, Mao, or I can also just do at them out, and then it'll just automatically pop up as well. You know, draw attention to me so that I would actually come and look at the activity or the comment that was written on here. The cool thing about this is that you could add emojis, you could do attachments. Attachment is here from other different cards. I haven't tried any audio Dropbox on here, but you know, maybe we can try that out too later down the road if we ever have any in-class sessions and you know we're sharing board with somebody else and we want to be able to share an audio recording session of the lecture. We can, you know, just put the link down here and it'll go through there. Or you can always just go to your computers. You can actually put all kinds of stuff. You could do documents, Excel, Word, links like Google Doc links. Yeah, a lot of things that you can upload on here, which is pretty cool. Always change the name of this list if you want to. It's totally up to you guys. You mess around with it and you decide what you want for your board. So this side is the info, has all these upcoming event, right? So this is going to be everything that's going to be due for this semester. So as you can see here, I've already got all of our rotations listed on here, the dates and the times of meetup and the location. Everything's on here. You can, and it's organized to, you know, specifically to my group, but you guys can change the date, okay, so that it works for your specific group. Keep all of the months worth of things on here so that you can copy and paste it to specific days or specific weeks or specific to do next week's stuff so that you guys are all kind of on the same page with everything. That way, if someone has questions, oh, you know, what's due this week, then they could just pull up Trello on their app real quick and see that, oh, all of these items are the stuff that are due this week, or these are all the stuff that are expected to be due next week. So it's just to keep it more organized. What I kept from the author too is I kept this little box. This little box will tell you what all the labels mean. When you click on it, it'll expand up, and then the description box will tell you all the definition as to what complete is, what in progress to be determined, or revised by LVN to RN, because we have transitional students in our group. It's nice to be able to communicate with them if they have anything different from what we do. As far as the labels go, you know, you can read all that. For the label, you can change it. You can do whatever you want with it. Instead of completed, you could do task completed, and then you could just press save, and then it's going to automatically change there. But of course, you would have to come back into the description and make sure that you change it to whatever it is, just so that everybody's like on the same page. You can do due dates. Some due dates doesn't work on certain, I think it was a list that it doesn't work on or something like that, but due dates definitely overall does work because we have the free version. It doesn't work on certain things. Attachment, that's if you want to add any photos. And then let's see here, so you can move these cards to any parts of the list. So this is an example. If I want to move this info card to something outside of this, so let's say we'll just move it to Monday. Let's say Monday is a card that is for like miscellaneous items, okay, and then we'll want to move it to Monday, want to move it to the first position, and then we're going to go ahead and move it. Now I'll move it back, so don't freak out. Just wanted to show you that moving will, this is what happens to it. First position, or position one, is just saying it's going to be the first item. The current position is just going to say that's, you know, whatever position it's in. It's now no longer in the info list of things, okay, you can see that. And now it's over at the Monday supposedly miscellaneous items, right? I love that you can copy the list, you can move the list to anything that's on this board. As long as it's on this board, you can do it, and it'll move it for you. Move this back to where we found it. You can also just move it yourself too. You don't have to just keep doing having the system move it for you. You can actually physically move it yourself as well. All right, and then to do this week, these are going to be all the items that are going to be due this week, obviously. For example, we would have a meeting that is going to be our skill sphere over at Inlow Conference Center at 10 a.m. If you go on here and you expand the note, it's going to tell you, for me, this is what I do. I want to make sure that the description is telling you the location of the place, the time, and the date that we're meeting, and all that jazz. For the most part, this is from the email, as you guys can see here, and I also indicate where I got the information. I'm not just getting that information out of my butt. It's actually valid information that was said by an instructor, or it was actually from an email, so I would put it on here. I Googled the address, so hopefully that's the correct one. Due dates, you can definitely change the due date to whichever day and time you want it to be. You can have set the reminder to remind you when the event is going to occur, or when this card is due, in other words. Labels, you can label it however many labels you want on them, right? So you can say that okay, so it's due this week. It is a meetup. It is also a priority, because if you don't show up, you're not going to get your skills fair. So these are, and you can even do attention to it too. So if in order for you to use the label, you have to make sure that it is checked marked. If it is not marked, it will not show up. So for example, I just added the attention card on here, and you can see that attention is now on the label. So if I want to undo that, then I just uncheck that box and it'll just show up like that. Okay, so these are just examples under the to do this week. Let's say this week where we have clinical paperwork, packet number 1. So it would be in this aisle, and it'll also be where it's going to be due. So packet number 1, you can also see here Thursday, packet number 1 is going to be due, and here it says due today, and this it says due this week. It's to indicate to you, to let you know that okay, so this column is just saying all throughout this whole entire week, these are items that are going to be due. Now specific days are going to have specific items that are going to be due for that specific day. So just make sure that you guys are kind of like moving the items so that you understand that, hey, this day this is due and all that stuff. So instead of having to keep adding the cards, you can just copy it. Go ahead and say, I'm going to copy the card. We're going to say that packet clinical packet 1 is going to be due on Thursday. I'm going to move that to the 6th position, which is the very last position. So boom, now you see that the example clinical packet 1 is due, and it's on Thursday now. So instead of due this week, we're just going to go ahead and change this, and we're going to change the label. This is the fun part. And we're just going to uncheck the due this week. We're going to check the due today, save that, and now you have this to be due this day. And if you want to delete an item, you can't really delete an item. You can only archive them, and then you would have to go to the archive list to delete it forever. Okay, so let's do this one. So I made a duplicate, so I'm going to go ahead and archive this list, and then I'm going to go under the show menu, and then the menu bar, you're going to go under more, and then under more, you're going to go under archive list. You're going to see all the list that has been archived. You can send it back to the board, or you can go ahead and delete it. Let's say, oh, I mistakenly did it. I'm going to send it back to the board. It's going to go to where it was previously deleted. Now let's go ahead and delete it completely. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it, deleting it forever. Okay. And so Wednesday, that's just anything that's going to be due on Wednesday. Usually a lot of our things are due Thursday. For a lot of us, we know that, but LVN transitional students don't know that. A lot of our clinical paperwork or our ATI virtual simulations are all due Thursday. So it is good to have that, have Thursday or Wednesday specifically for its item, same thing for Thursday, so on and so forth. I left the Friday on here because last semester clinical instructor allowed us to have our assignment to be due on Friday or Sunday. So if you want a Friday or a Sunday list and it's not on here, we will go over there and create one. There's a Friday list that I kept on here just in case anything is going to be due for Friday instead of Thursday or instead of Sunday or whatever the case may be. On Mondays, this is more for me than anything because I'm going to be managing the board for the most part, adding things, deleting things, and doing a lot more. Monday is usually just for me, but if anybody wants to, interact with it, that's totally fine too. This is just my reminder that it's going to be upcoming for, August 31st, that I have to declutter the board and I have to reorganize the list for the following week. So the week of August 31st, I would have a new list of things that's going to be due for that week. And all these things that you see right here where it says, clinical packet 1, virtue simulations, all that is going to be deleted or archived into the archive list. And it's going to be new items. So instead of clinical week 1, it's going to be week 2 now. Hopefully you guys get the picture. Okay, so here you can see that there's a line here and it says task completed, right? So let's say I completed assignment number 1, or majority of us should be completing assignment number 1. You can either drag it down here or you can drag it over here into the completed taskbar. Boom! Look at that. Isn't that cool? So it's going to pretty much just organize everything for you. And at the end of the day, you can archive these lists as we did before, or you can just go ahead and archive it from here, or don't even use the task complete. It's totally up to you. I just made that an option just so that you know that you can move these items down here, that it's been done, it's completed, just so that you have a marking check off system so that you feel good that you're actually getting things done, and it just builds your confidence. And I think that's key in nursing school. Next here, you see that there is a Zoom meeting clinical instructor. This is going to have the list at the time of our meeting. A disclaimer, this template is not shared with the instructor. So if you're gonna miss Zoom session, you're gonna miss anything, do not put your information on here because the instructor's not going to see it. The instructor's not going to know. Now, if you put it on here just so that we know that you're not going to show up, so we could tell the instructor, that's totally fine. If you're going to miss anything, you need to go to the instructor and not rely on the board or someone else to say that you're not going to show up or that you're not going to turn in certain items or whatever. Like, that's your responsibility. Zoom session, you're going to put the link below. So let's say I got the Zoom sessions link. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. I'm just going to copy paste it on here. And then obviously, you want to always keep the newest link or the most current link on here and remove the old one. That way people are not waiting at the old meeting session and they're just like, well, I'm here, but no one's here. But it's like, no, you're in the wrong meeting room. So just try to be up to date with the Zoom link on here, whether it's for you guys or whether it's for the classmate. The cool thing about this is that Zoom cover photo, I actually found that on Google, so I just saved the item and then just put it on here. Now you guys can always change that or do whatever you guys want to. It's totally up to you. For my group, I want to have a picture of our Zoom session. So a picture of everybody's faces on there and then put it on here. That's what I wanted to do. So that's why it says it's due for this week and a meetup is because I want to do a picture for the cover photo for our Zoom classmate. You guys can do that too. If not, go ahead and just archive this list. That way it's, out of the way. Anything that you see that you don't need because it's just too much, you delete it. You do whatever you want to do. But again, if you're going to be working as a group, make sure that everybody agrees to deleting some certain things, or, if it's not needed, take it out. But if there are certain things where other people are like, oh, I like that, but, majority is like, oh, I don't like it, then just create your own board. Like there's no hard feelings, guys. Like, don't take it to the butt if some certain people like certain things and you don't like certain things. Like, seriously, be flexible and just create your own board, do your own thing. Like, this is just so that you guys have something to work with. It is not set in stone, so you guys can implement it, do whatever you guys want to with it. And then contact information, again, this photo, I found it from Google, and I just pretty much attached it on here, use it as a cover photo. Here you will find all the people who's in your group, their the clinical instructor's name, information, and all the students are going to be on there. Okay, so now let's say we want to add a new list, right? We want to add Sunday on here, because Sunday is actually when all of our stuff are due. Clinical assignments due. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click on this or click on the little pencil, and then I'm just gonna, add a cover to this so that I know that this is a different list of things, do the description saying that it was agreed upon instructor, when it's going to be due, and the day that's going to be due, whatever. However you guys want to do it, you work with it. Then last thing is that each card is going to have a little something down here for you. Just open it up, and then it's going to show you, you saw the paper clip, and that's just an attachment. You saw that there was a little description. It's because there's a description in here. You'll see activity. If you write something on here, you're going to see that there is an activity as well. And then the activity or a note that was, was on it. And then the watch, I think, is just if anything happens, it just kind of tracks what happens on that card for the most part. But other than that, guys, like, this is just kind of how you use Trello boards. It's really effective. It's been really good for me for what I was doing. So I definitely would encourage you guys to use it too for your own benefit. It's just going to keep your life more organized, and you're just going to be a lot more productive because you're going to see the items in and out all the time. It can be overwhelming just by looking at it, but take it little section at a time and play around with it and see how it works. And again, if you're going to play around with it, make sure you create this board privately for yourself. All right, guys, that is it. I hope this little tutorial kind of gives you a better idea of how to work this board. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me or call me or text me. I try to make myself available to you guys so that I can help you guys to the fullest of your potential and mine. Okay. All right. Bye. Sunday at 11, blah, blah, blah. You do your thing. You do however you want to go. Sorry, my little guy's slurping on his juice over here. Yep, slurping away. Okay. Ah! Okay, so, okay, hold on, baby. I'm almost done.